Good afternoon, my name's Josh from Blues Focus. I'm here to answer the questions that have been sent to me regarding the Millwall match on the weekend. I think it was more started following Blues because family. My brother was a big Blues fan, so I think I just followed him because of him. As for a memorable moment, I remember one of my first ever games I went to was against Portsmouth at home, and we got stuck in traffic, was late to the game. We're 4 minutes late to the game, and Jermaine Pennant scored in the first minute and a half, 2 minutes. So we missed that goal. And then I went to the toilet and missed the second goal, so I missed both the goals in the game. So you know from that kind of start that it's going to be a tricky life as a Birmingham City fan. I think you've got to keep your eyes on players like Anderson, Keshi Anderson, Koji Miyoshi. If he plays Sariki Dembele, they are so threatening to play against. And obviously it works well for us because we've got one on our team, but they're so good to play, to watch them play. And Ethan Laird and Lee Buchanan as well, unreal fullbacks. So I think definitely keep an eye on them. Not really sure what the weaknesses would be, but I know that we're quite good on the counter-attack. So we might be able to exploit the weaknesses. If you're attacking high, we can play that counter-attack. We've got so many fast players that can break. Or it might be the fact of using our height on corners and trying to play something different, maybe playing low balls into the box. Obviously, we'll have a lot of heighty defenders. So it might be just playing low balls on corners and different tactics like that. Anyone who's ever been, as a player, manager, fan at St Andrews will know how important us Blue Noses are at home. We have sold out our first 2 games. Hopefully Millwall will be a sellout too. We are so behind our team right now that we could be dangerous as a fan base on the basis of we're so behind them and so loud and so supportive that is eagering us on to the start that we've had so far, and we're only pushing forward. So hopefully the importance of us being at home and having a sellout crowd will be massive for our advantage, and it'll be kind of overwhelming for Millwall that it puts fear in them. I know Millwall haven't had a good start to the season. We've had a really good start. But I know Millwall, one of those teams where at any point anything can happen. I think it's I wouldn't say 50-50, it's probably more 60-40 at us. There's a chance of it happening, especially with, like I said, with the home advantage in the way that we started with the new owners and stuff. But I think it's one of those where anything can happen. I'd like to say that we're going to win, but I wouldn't put that much pressure on it. But I think that if Millwall come with a game plan, there's a chance. But I just can't quite see it, unfortunately. I think we win the game 2-0, maybe. Obviously, I know you've had a bad start, so it could be the turn for Millwall, but it's one of those. I wouldn't say we're going to dominate possession. You might dominate possession, only because in, I think, all of our games so far, we've had really poor possession. We're keeping the ball, but we're dominating it. It's more that we need to dominate the attacking part, scoring goals, actually finishing the ball. I think your biggest threat will be Tom, what's his name? The striker. Because Tom Bradshaw, that's the one, because he can finish a shot. We were rumoured to have him before he come to you guys, and I'd have loved him to be at Blues. He's an unbelievable player. But I think he'll be our biggest threat. But again, it's one of those, I think we dominate the middle of the park a lot. With Sunjic and Bielik so far this season, there's not a lot that's really getting past them easily. So I think we'll dominate middle of the park, maybe attacking a little bit. So Digbeth Dining. The Digbeth Dining Club has got a variety of different food. Really good, really close to the ground as well. But I think there you got a different variety. I think that's the best place to probably try food. % yes. Not only have we got these new owners now that are helping us evolve into a bigger club, not just a club, but the city and a brand, but our fan base culture has massively improved a lot over the last 2-3 years, if not longer. And I think that's good for us because it means that we're bringing a lot of the fan base that you'd not normally see at Birmingham. We're bringing a lot more of it now. There's a lot more people that are passionate about us and actually wanting to be around the club. So it's nice to see a variety of different people there. And I think the playing style's been very similar up until this season. I think this season's the first season we've had where we're actually allowed to theoretically change that style. I think the new owners have given Eustace a bit of freedom to go play it how you want to play it. So it's exciting times. In my opinion, since I've been supporting them, so since the early 2000s to now, I'd probably go with someone like Stephen Carr or Roger Johnson, someone that's won something for Blues, that has experienced Premier League days and maybe be able to come back and motivate the players to be like, look, this is what it's like in the Prem, and explain what our fan base is like, explain what it's like to be with Birmingham City and the Premier League in Europe, the different type of football we've had over the past 2 decades. I think someone like Stephen Carr would be motivational. He'd be able to bring you back in. And obviously, Ben Foster's elaborated on it before, how much Stephen Carr motivated us before that 2011 Carling Cup final. I think he'd be someone to come in and just boost the morale a lot. So I'd go with him. I think he would boost the morale of people with confidence, but the people without confidence, he'd also boost their morale and get them playing. I know when they went to Spain, a lot of them played golf, so I think it'd be something like pub golf, where you've got like a par 3, so you've got to drink in so many shots. As for the pubs and bars that would be en route, you 100% got to say the George and the Roost. They are massive Birmingham City pubs. The Cricketers, that's another one. I think them 3 would be where you'd either start or finish. Local blues pubs, massive blues pubs. So I think if you put them 3 on the route, even at different stages, I think it just makes it all whole. Dom Toretto.
There's always room for family.
Fast and Furious. Only because that character is based on family, based on sticking by the people that you trust and you love. And Eustace very much wants Birmingham City to be a big family. He wants us to trust in the players, trust in him, trust in the owners. And I think with him bringing that kind of style in the dressing room of being a close-knit family, it allows the tactics to flow a little better, because we know then we've got attacking or defensive-wise, our players just gel with each other quite comfortably. They're very happy with each other. It's a very good group of people, and I think that would allow the tactics to work better because they know each other rather than being randomers on a pitch and not understanding. They understand where each player is going to go and understand what each player wants to do. I think I'd swap Scott Hogan with Tom Bradshaw. A lot of Blues fans probably won't agree, but I think Tom Bradshaw is just that little bit more clinical in front of goal. I think he'd suit our style of play. And I think Hogan's one of those where he might fit in for Millwall. He might be able to play to your style and grab some goals as well. So I feel like, I'd swap Scott Hogan with Tom Bradshaw. It's changed a lot. I remember when I first started going to games, you didn't know the team sheet until you walked into the ground, or you didn't even know who had travelled with the team until you got into the ground. Where now we're seeing obviously team news an hour before the game. We're able to kind of make our judgment and opinions on the team and give our views on how we think we're going to play. It also works both ways. You get a negative side of, oh, this person's playing, and that person gets a lot of hate on social media, but it allows us to keep those fans that want that bit of information. We can give them our opinions. They're free to give their own opinions on our channel. We're not going to sit there and be like, oh, you can't be posting this because he's a Blues player. No, we 100% allow fans to say what they want. If they don't like someone in the team lineup, they've got the opportunity to say they don't like the person in the team lineup. We've got, for example, there's a few players this season getting a lot of hate, but not necessarily because they're not good or they're not playing well. It's more the fact of some of our fan base are so used to the old regime that they're not getting on board with the new one. But I think social media will change, and hopefully it'll allow us to keep more updated with the team in a positive way and actually allow us to promote the club on a bigger basis, especially with the fan base being allowed to. I'm not necessarily being allowed to, but now the fan bases are getting involved with the women's team more and projecting the women's football massively. I think that's massive for us, that we can promote that. Focus. We've been around since 2019, I believe. I've only been here probably about a month, working as admin, but Blues Focus been around since 2019. We've got a YouTube channel. We're soon to start up a Twitch channel that would be match watch-alongs, where we're looking to invite Blues guests as well as opponent guests on to just sit and watch the game with us, have a talk about what's going on with both clubs at the same time, and let fans interact better. The city is blue, for one. It's Birmingham City all day long. But I think it's culturally huge. We've got a lot of different culture in different parts of Birmingham. And I think that allows us to welcome in a lot more people, a lot more tourists, a lot more visiting fans.